Welcome everyone to your free masterclass webinar. I am your hostess with the mostest, Jennifer Longmore, founder of souljourneys.ca. I'm really excited to be connecting in with you today. And you are in the right place if you're ready to learn how the Akashic Records are the only tool of transformation that you will ever need. So thank you for joining me today. If you have any distractions going on, any extra screens going on your computer or anything else that may pull your energy away from being fully present today, I would encourage you to shut all of that down. It will be waiting for you for sure. You can guarantee that when you're finished your webinar today. But for right now, I want to invite you to be fully present. This is a homecoming. If you're drawn to this webinar and to learn about the Akashic Records, or you've already experienced the Akashic Records, then you know what I'm talking about. It is a huge homecoming, so welcome home. And we are going to journey through how the Akashic Records can really support you on your journey throughout our time today. And for those of you that are not familiar with my story, I will briefly share that with you in a moment. Well, first of all, I'd like to just share with you what we are going to cover today. So we are going to go over what the Akashic Records are and why you need to align to them to live your purpose-aligned life. We're going to go over the multitude of uses for this very ancient tool. We are going to look at the infinite possibility of transformation that it can provide for you throughout your day-to-day life, how they can instantly make you way more magnetic for all things that you desire. I can attest to that for sure. Why you should consider certifying in the Soul Journey system for Akashic Records and how this system is different. Obviously, I'm a little biased, but we will go over that later on. And then I'm going to share with you how you can gain instant access to over 35 hours of high-value training on the Akashic Records that you won't find anywhere else, plus some other juicy surprises. So welcome, everyone. I'm excited to get this sacred party started with you. So before I share with you what the Akashic Records are, I will share a little bit about my journey. So for those of you that are not aware, I did a lot of woo-woo stuff when I was very, very young. I went for my first past life regression when I was 4 with my parents so that we could learn about any unfinished business we had in this lifetime, along with what we were still meant to learn from each other and why we came together again in this lifetime. So I had a bit of a different history. I went off to school and learned that people don't really talk this way. So I spent a huge chunk of my life censoring myself, not so much in my family, but in the outer world. I know that you can probably relate to that. For those of us that are woo related, we can have these kind of things going on. And so that was the journey. But the more I resisted being in tune energetically and intuitively, the more just heightened. It didn't go away. So I realized that resisting it, being angry about it, cursing the universe about it just wasn't making it go away. So I thought, well, what will happen if I actually just lean into it? So I leaned into it and ended up at the same time manifesting a car accident when I was 21. And I ended up getting some Reiki treatments as a result. And if you've ever had Reiki, then you know it's like the gateway drug of healing modalities. I say that obviously with tongue-in-cheek. It just is one of those things that opens you up to whatever it is that you're here to do. So I was working in a conventional job, and I kept seeing this book, this very sacred book, flipping pages in my dream. And I knew I needed to know what was on the page. It was beautiful. I had this immense feeling of I need to know what's going on here. And I couldn't read the pages. They were flipping too quickly. And this went on for about 2 weeks. And one day I went out for lunch with a colleague, and I was really tired. And she said, "Why are you so tired?" I said, "Well, I've been having this recurring dream. I can't sleep." I told her about it. She said, "Well, why don't you just ask your guides before you go to sleep?" And I thought it was the funniest thing ever because, of course, I knew to ask my guides that, right? So why was I allowing it to go on for so long? But I did, and that's how it started. So that night before I went to bed, I said, "Okay, guides, I'm not able to do this anymore. You need to let me know what this is about. What are you showing me? Help me to clearly understand what you're telling me and also easily remember it when I wake up." So in the middle of the night, I heard very deeply and clearly with a male voice, "These are the Akashic records. You must learn them so that you can teach them." And I was more relieved that I could go back to sleep because I knew I would remember that in the morning than I was about the actual insight, right? So the next morning I got up and I just let it come to me. I started doing readings, and before you know it, people started asking me how to do them as well. And nobody had ordained me as the Akashic Record minister, so to speak. I didn't know that I could do that. I thought that I'd need some permission from someone to create a certification program. The reality is that one of my archetypes is a teacher archetype, so it makes sense that I would be called to do that. And eventually I just sat down and said, okay, well, this many people are asking me. I'm going to sit down in the records and download a system. And it started just with how to access your own records. And I really wanted to do that anyways for my clients so that they could feel empowered, right? They wouldn't have to rely on me every time they wanted answers. And then, of course, as the case would be, right, with any situation, people said, okay, now when's the next class to teach us how to do this for other people? I thought, oh, geez, here we go. So I wasn't expecting that by any means, but it did evolve into a 3-part series. And then teacher training was born out of that, and so on and so on. So that's a little bit about my history. At this point, I've conducted over 30,000 Akashic record readings, and I've taught thousands of people how to access their records and or access the records for other people. So I've been around the block a few times, and I've learned a lot about the records, and I still learn from being in the records because it's basically an infinite school of life, and it's just been such a huge, huge gift for me, and I'll share with you all the different ways that it has been as we go through this webinar. So if you're not familiar with what the Akashic Records are, they are an infinite storage container for every thought, deed, act, and belief you've ever held through all spaces, times, dimensions, and beyond, through all levels of consciousness, past, present, and future. So that means that all of this information gets stored, it gets categorized into different books, so to speak. Some people actually visualize a book, other people just know. There's different ways that you can read the records. But the records are located in the 6th plane of existence, source being the 7th plane. So they hold a very high frequency of information about your soul's past, present, and future. And this information vibrates in love and truth only, which means that any illusions you're holding on to will instantly be shattered once you open your records because it's not a vibrational match for love and truth. And so much of what we do in this life is we're unconsciously creating, right? We're always creating, but usually it's unconscious. And therefore, we're creating whatever is in our subconscious mind. When we are working in the 6th plane of existence, which is also the subconscious mind and the theta brainwaves and so on, we can clear out any beliefs that are not supportive of our path and align them with our divine truth. So this way, even when we're unconsciously creating, we're attracting to us what we really desire as opposed to all the things that we don't. There are infinite healing, alignment, and divine guidance opportunities in the records because this is an optimal place to be growing this garden, basically. So there are a ton of topics that you can go over in your records, but some of the things that I see a lot are, well, the first one being learning about your purpose and learning how to consult with them regularly to stay in alignment with your purpose. The second would be discovering the divine truth about you, about other situations, and anywhere else that you're unknowingly holding on to illusions that keep you stuck. Nobody likes that feeling of being stuck, right? The third thing that they help you do is gain a deeper understanding of the past, present, or future to allow for healing and allowance of what is and integration. You can receive spiritual guidance about people, places, and experiences that serve your highest good. I get people asking a lot, is this my soulmate? One of the top questions actually I get asked. But it can be anything from hiring team members to allowing in new friends and so on. It can help you build trust in yourself and others and in Source. And this is particularly important if you're living a purpose-aligned life. because you do need to trust yourself and you do need to allow Source, Creator, the universe to have your back and to support you on this journey. It definitely helps you develop your intuitive abilities and any other innate gifts and talents that you're here to share on this planet. It can help you communicate with any angels, guardian angels, spirit guides, ascended masters, and other beings of light that can provide you with divine insight on any topics that are important to you, whatever those are. It can help you to determine the launch timing of new ventures, downloading new business ideas, and receiving guidance around what you're worth. This is really important for business owners because so often we undercharge, especially if we're in the woo game, just like me. It can help you gain clarity about career, any investments, any other business opportunities that allow you to make the most aligned decisions to your purpose. And of course, releasing anything that's no longer serving you, learning about past lives and how they impact you now. I will make a little caveat here about past lives. You can certainly just go in out of curiosity, but you're definitely going to learn way more about past lives when you have a focus. And oftentimes what will come up is the reason why you're struggling with A, B, and C is because it happened in this lifetime. Here's what happened in this lifetime. Here's why it's still impacting you now. To just go in from a place of curiosity doesn't tend to yield the same results. I mean, it can, for sure, but it tends to reveal itself with whatever you may be wanting to focus on. It can also help you uncover medical concerns and determine the best way to address them. One of the things that happened for me as I was reading records for so long as I started doing this medical intuitive kind of stuff, I would hear names of bones and different fascia and stuff that just as a human I didn't understand. I never studied anatomy. It wasn't like it was my zone of genius by any means. I'm not a very science-oriented person. So I never bothered to take biology or anatomy classes or anything. So that definitely comes up in the records, not only learning what may be going on, you can receive healing in the records, but also then receive guidance on the best way to address any medical concerns. You also can learn how to enhance relationships with yourself, with others, with Source, and maybe even attract your divine life partner. That's a huge, huge thing that people wish to uncover in the records. In part, sometimes there's healing that needs to occur and just, opening our heart and so on. And other times it's about amping up our magnetism, knowing that what we are seeking is seeking us, so we simply need to match our vibration to attract to us what we wish to attract. We can generate more peace, more abundance, prosperity, miracles, and obviously so much more. Remove any stubborn blockages that create repeating patterns. I see this with people that are up and down with their weight, up and down with money, up and down with relationships, pushing and pulling, doing the hokey pokey, that kind of thing. It definitely helps with that. And we can imprint positive manifestation energies that you can pull to you what, is most serving you. So let me ask you, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how much of your energy is spent on finding your purpose? What's the first number that comes up? Usually it's quite high for folks, and that's okay. That's a very normal response. If you could get that energy back and reclaim it, how would you spend that energy instead? So let's just say you had scored a 7 out of 10, 70% of your energy being spent on finding your purpose. What would you do if you could reclaim even 35% of that energy back, right? How much more vitality would you have? What would you be spending your energy on instead? That energy of searching really can create a huge amount of discomfort and stress because we're going into the unknown, right? We're going into the future, which is unknown. And if you have a relationship with the future that makes you feel uneasy, then it can actually just create a lot of stress for you. So purpose, as I shared before, is a major thing that we go over in the records. I would say it's probably the number one question I get asked. The same with any other consultants that are certified with me and other teachers. You'll see here that Baljeet, who's been a long-standing client and friend of mine. She was actually one of the first students to go through the certification process and gently nudged me continually around teaching it and creating a program. She ended up having some massive life alignments as a result of one of her first readings and moved across the country, completely moved to a different coast, and became a visionary entrepreneur and a master healer and teacher, and downloaded some of her own systems once she was working in the records, because the records align us to what we're here to do. So she's had an amazing life, built an amazing infrastructure of friends, and is doing what she loves, and is making a healthy living doing what she loves because she's aligned to her purpose. So she is one example of the possibilities of what happened, how much joy you can have when you're finally returning home and connecting with the essence of your soul, rather than trying to figure it all out on your own. So finding our purpose is a huge relief, and there's a lot of ways that we can feel purposeful when we're actually not. We can misidentify our purpose, meaning we can just unconsciously direct our energy in a misidentified way. So some of the common ways that people misidentify their purpose are through gaining weight so that their purpose then becomes losing it. Going into debt so that their purpose becomes digging themselves out of it. Friending people who need you so that fixing them becomes your purpose. Creating drama so that your purpose becomes resolving it. Or alternately inserting yourself in other people's drama so that your purpose becomes putting out the fires. So the Akashic records quickly, easily, and lovingly cut through these misidentified patterns so that you can feel joyful rather than afraid of loving your purpose. So why do people feel afraid of living their purpose? Well, there's a myriad of reasons. One of them can be anger at the universe, God, creator, source, or feeling abandoned or rejected, and therefore feeling unwilling to do the work on behalf of the universe because you don't feel like you're going to be supported, you don't trust they're going to be there for you, or anything along those lines. We're also afraid of failure. If I actually do this thing that I love, what if I fail at it? And we don't come out of the womb feeling like we're going to be a failure. We take these energies on, right? Either because of what we're observing or what's actually been told to us. It's one thing to quote-unquote fail at things that we're not that passionate about, but what if you actually failed at your purpose, which is your passion? That would feel devastating, right? It's illusion, but that's, still fear. Fear is illusion. We can also be afraid of success because of all of the baggage that we perceive comes along with being successful and other people's responses. Same with the fear of having it all, because if you have it all, then can't you lose it all? Fear of being rejected by others if living your purpose requires you to speak your truth or even leave the tribe. I see this a lot. So people get into a double bind, right? They feel so compelled to live their truth, but they're so afraid of, what they're going to lose. You'll see here Alicia, she had her first reading in 2000, and she was going through a lot at that time. And when she eventually learned the Soul Journeys method, which is my training program, she received a lot of clarity and so on, but she was definitely hiding and contracting her energy, even though she was doing amazing readings, because she was so concerned about, what would happen if she didn't get it right. It was easier to just play it small, so to speak, than put herself out there, and now she's out there in a big way. So the other thing that the records do is they quickly clear health issues and facilitate alignment. As you know, if we don't have our health, we don't have anything. We really, really need that. And any health imbalances can pull on our energy so much and take so much of our energy reserve away from doing other things. So it's so important for us to get our health back on track, especially because our body is the vehicle that carries our spirit through life, right? And allows us to live our purpose. So you'll see here that Jan, who is an amazing, amazing consultant, I absolutely adore her. She had a car accident and had a lot of PTSD and trauma surrounding that. We were able to quickly heal it in an Akashic record session, and it just opened up doors for her. She just finally decided to promote herself and become visible as an Akashic record consultant because she felt more confident. She had that energy cleared. She just felt more like herself. Really, that's what's happening each time we have an Akashic record reading, or when we do this for other people. We're becoming more of who we are and less of who we're not because we're clearing out all the illusions and we're clearing out any of the distractions. So if you think about it, how much of your energy is spent trying to heal? This could be physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual healing. Are you turning it into a full-time job? Are you going into the belief that you need to fix yourself before A, B, and C can happen? I hear this a lot. And what would you do with all of that energy if you created alignment in your health? The reason why the Akashic Records are so healing, so we've gone over, by the way, that the Akashic Records can align you to your purpose, very, very important for our lifetime. We also want to feel balanced and healed. So the Akashic Records heal us by providing us the truth. And you've heard the saying, the truth sets us free. So just hearing the truth can be so opening. It can be so heart opening to hear that. You can feel it in your body. You can feel your shoulders dropping. You can just feel yourself easing into that energy. The record keepers can also facilitate really deep and permanent energy clearings, making sure we're anchoring new beliefs or just clearing out any viruses or just any interference that's going on in the energy field. And then on top of that, the record keepers can provide us with divine guidance on any additional physical support we may need to resolve a particular issue. So it could be nutritional recommendations, energy therapies, breathing techniques. It really can be anything. I even heard simple things like drink more water. Can sound simple, right? But if that's really what the person needs to do to make the difference between where they're at and where they want to be, that can mean a lot. But usually it's deeper stuff, things that you just wouldn't know on your own, whether it's a magnesium deficiency or B12 deficiency or something along those lines. So we've learned the Akashic Records can provide clarity of purpose and help us make aligned decisions. They can also help heal lifetimes of burdens, physical ailments, and so much more. And the third main thing that they can do is help you manifest like a spiritual ninja. So imagine what it would be like to have access to your records whenever you choose to clarify what you wish to manifest. And then you're entering this sixth plane of existence, as I mentioned, which is manifestation central, to project your desires into the ethers and then receive the and better every time. You will always receive the and better when you're working in the records. And this doesn't just happen for other people. It can happen for you too. I hear that a lot. Oh, other people can do this. I can't. No. Every one of us can do this, especially when we deepen our relationship to ourselves. So take Saskia, for example. She was already up to big things. When she studied the Akashic Records, her business just skyrocketed. Her alignment skyrocketed. And she always has a waiting list for her coaching programs. And anything new that she launches, it always fills because she works so closely in alignment with the records. So I guess this then begs the question, right? Why learn how to access our records? Well, just imagine for a moment attracting things that are important to you, like attracting your divine life partner, creating amazing relationships, downloading new business offerings like a banshee, That happens to me all the time, by the way. Attracting your ideal career, creating more abundance, enjoying optimal health, feeling purposeful in everything that you do rather than creating the misidentified purpose, experiencing a deep feeling of alignment, helping others create all of this for themselves as well, and just really many other possibilities. As I've shared before, it's truly the only transformational tool you'll ever need, and I've made it super convenient and affordable for you to learn what I've been doing for years. So how is the Soul Journeys method different than other Akashic Record training systems? Well, you'll be learning from me, and I've been a clear channel from a very young age. You'll be learning from me, who is trained as a forensic investigator, and I have boatloads of experience in understanding human behavior, and that's really essential for you as it relates to, reading for other people if you choose to do that. You're learning from someone who has taught thousands of students and conducted over 30,000 Akashic Record readings. So I'm bringing a level of wisdom to the table where I'm not just kind of throwing a class together, as we see many times in the informational space and personal development space, where people are offering programs that maybe they haven't developed a certain level of mastery over. I'm a big believer in sharing things with people once you get to that certain place. But really, there's so many other important reasons why we want to study the Akashic Records and why the system is different. One of them is that it's based on empowerment. I don't want to create codependency or enmeshment with anyone. I'm always open to offering readings to people that are already in my tribe and have already taken Akashic Record training, because I do realize that there's times that it's just more efficient, or sometimes we're just too close to our own stuff. So I'm definitely open to that, but I do want to provide you with a tool that you can access every day without having to rely on me or someone else to get answers to anything that's important to you at that moment in time. I also designed it so that you can get quick results rather than creating all kinds of formalities and processes that delay your outcomes. People have said to me so many times that after one reading, they accomplished more and felt lighter than they had in 15 plus years of psychotherapy. It's really, really quick, and you don't need to go through all kinds of dances and rituals and formalities to get it done. I'm a big believer in being efficient, so I'd rather you, if your energy field is able to clear a lot of stuff really quickly rather than having to take 10 sessions to do the same thing. It's a very comprehensive system. Each module in the system has hours of audio training and large comprehensive workbooks so that you really are armed with information and can feel empowered that you know how to do this. And then on top of that, we offer continuing education every year that offers new content and techniques each time. So we're always expanding on your learning. I'm a big believer that like attracts like, and I am a lifelong learner, so I tend to attract people that are lifelong learners as well, which is nice. And so to honor that, it doesn't serve me to stop my journey, and it doesn't support you for me to stop your journey and to not continue offering more stuff. So I'm always working in the records, finding out what else I can bring to you. And this year is actually our 10-year anniversary. I found that out from Baljeet. I showed you Baljeet's picture earlier on in this webinar. She actually reminded me that it's been 10 years, which is hard to imagine. I've been doing it way longer, but the first official class started 10 years ago. So I really wanted to create something special for all of you to invite you into our 10-year anniversary extravaganza. So in my particular training system, this is what you receive. You receive level 1 training, which walks you through how to access your own records, how to understand your spiritual language, and also how to understand the nature of the soul and the oversoul. It comes with hours of training audios and a comprehensive manual for your success, and it also prepares you to learn advanced techniques in reading for other people's records in level 2. So this is a $1,000 value, the level 1 training. And then in level 2 training, we show you how to read for other people and how to understand the overt and covert energies that impact how to read others and how others experience their reading. So this also comes with hours of training audios and a comprehensive manual and prepares you for even more advanced techniques in how to read other people's records in level 3. So level 2 training is over a $2,000 value, so now we're up to $3,000 in value. And then level 3 training, as I mentioned, is advanced techniques for reading other people's records and creating even more profound shifts more efficiently. So this also comes with hours of training audios and a comprehensive manual. And then once you take level 1, 2, and 3, which comes in this complete home system that I'm going to share with you, you are qualified to be a consultant and go on my website as a featured consultant, which gets a lot of hits every month if you choose to. Not everyone wants to do that, but it also prepares you for teacher training in the future if you choose. You do need to go through level 1, 2, and 3 to be a certified consultant, and then you also, of course, need to go through that in order to be eligible for teacher training. So I share this with you just so you can understand the journey and know the progression. A lot of people like to know that, especially lifelong learners, such as myself, right? So level 3 is also a $2,000 value. So that's $5,000 in value right there. Then you get lifetime access to the Sacred Forum for the Akashic Records and any e-coaching from me anytime you post a question in there, and that's over a $2,000 value. So that's $7,000 in value so far. Then you get a lifetime feature on my site upon completion of your certification so that you can have even greater exposure and people can learn about you. So that's now an additional $5,000 value. And then if you purchase this program within the next 72 hours, you're then going to be eligible for 5 live bonus Q&A calls with me so that you can go deeper into your understanding of working in the records. So the luxury of having the home study system is you get to learn it on your own time and work it around your schedule and work it around what works for you. You receive the e-coaching in the forum. And then you're having live bonus calls with me so that you can deepen your understanding, because I recognize that you will have questions and I want to make sure you're fully supported. And then, of course, all of the other transformation that comes along with working in your records. So this is your opportunity to be a part of our global call to action to amp up your consciousness and to share with the world in whatever way you're divinely called to do so. So you'll see the link here on the webinar. It's a long link, so I won't bother reading it out. You'll also get a link to this when you get access to the emails afterwards. And this is something that some people take the program and they decide that they just want to do it for themselves. It just amps up their own intuition, even taking all 3 levels. And some people choose to incorporate it as a service in their business, even if they have other tools they're working with. And for some people, they take it and then they decide they want to start a business because they just love it so much. So there's no right or wrong way to do it. You don't have to be certified and officially go on the site. You can just go through it as a way to invest in your own transformation. For this year, we are being called to work on a much more global level, which is why I want as many people to be aware of this system as possible. And I'd love for you to join me in that. So if you're wishing to register and you're wishing to qualify for all the bonuses and the special rate, definitely visit the sales page that's on your webinar to invest in yourself. And then I'm also going to be hosting a live bonus call from this webinar. So you're going to want to stay tuned to learn when that is. And that will be an opportunity for you to ask me questions about this system as well in the event that you have any nigglies. But hopefully I've answered all of your questions today around that. Hopefully this was of value to you. And if you're wanting to know what else we're up to over at Soul Journey's headquarters, then you can just go to www.souljourneys.ca, and learn more about how we can support you on your journey. So I want to thank you for being a part of our special webinar series today. Hopefully this was of help to you and you walked away with at least one aha. And I look forward to staying connected with you and seeing how else we can support you on your journey. So have a great rest of your day. Namaste.